Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream, and welcome to what is really the start of the Liam Rosenior era. He is due to face the media for the first time ahead of the Charlton match in the FA Cup at 1:30. We'll be watching that press conference. We'll be going through it. Loads more to dive into as well. Rosenior reportedly happy with the current state of the Chelsea squad. Cole Palmer is believed to still be struggling with the groin injury that plagued him over the first half of the season, but the medical staff opted against surgery and believe it will heal. Plus, we'll look ahead to that FA Cup tie against Charlton, a potential banana skin, possibly, for the Blues, given our current form. But maybe the Cup will be a welcome reprieve from the ins and outs of the Premier League, and might be exactly the distraction that we need right now. Rosenior's appointment as well apparently is not going to change the future of the likes of Disasi, Sterling, or Tyreek George. I was seeing something, I don't know where I saw it. I don't think I really believed it, but that Disasi and Sterling could be reintegrated back into the squad. I certainly don't think that's going to be the case, but big up to everyone who is locked in. Make sure you're smashing the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And just a quick reminder, as always, people, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off on your Chelsea kits, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want on the back. They got the retro shirts or whatever time, what other shirts that you wish. Current shirts, retro kits, they're all there, chat. So make sure you check it out. Link is in the description. Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Make sure you use code BLUEBROTHER to grab yourself 20% off. Now, that is enough about that, people. Let's say hello to some of you lot, and then we're going to get this show on the road. Hopefully the away fans keep chanting. Yep, that will absolutely be happening. We just want big name players and big name coaches. It's not that hard to give. No, it's not that hard to give, brother. But when you don't believe in that as an idea, it is hard. Of course he's happy. Barely even looked at him. But of course, on the other hand are not. I hear you. Brother, you could absolutely make that point, and it would be hard to disagree. Yes, big up to you, brother. Big up. Yes, hope you're doing well. Yes, brother, hope you're well. What's happening? Oh, we've done that. I'll be at the Valley tomorrow. Fortunately, got slightly restricted view seat, which is a bit peak. Hopefully, it's not massively restricted, and I'll still be able to actually see. Although it could be a positive if we play terribly. It might be a positive that my view's slightly restricted, so I don't have to see as much of the horror football that could be on show. Big up to you, brother. It's time all the Chelsea content creators. You know, look, to be honest, the one thing that I would say, right, despite all the difficulties on the pitch, despite everything that's going on at the club right now, the fan base is actually the most united it's been in a long time in terms of how they feel about the ownership and the direction that they're going in. That wouldn't be this month. That would, if that were to happen, that would be obviously very much a view to the situation in the summer, but not now. Big up, brother. Is it worth getting up for the cups as these things? Yeah, bro, I hear you. Big up to you. More than 20k season to get holders. Imagine a 20% to sit a game out and see what effect would have. Bro, yeah, but you've got this. I've said this so many times. You've got this deluded fantasy that 20,000 people are just not going to turn up to the stadium. Yes, big up to you. What's these rumours linking us with the Brentford strike? I saw that. Football Insider. I'd take that with a large pinch of salt. No, there's no slagging off of Rosenior. I've made my thoughts very clear. Obviously, got his press conference coming up, and we move forward. Obviously, his backroom staff have been confirmed, and yeah, we move on. We get behind the gaffer and we see what happens. Yeah, the away fans are brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen that. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know what he's referring to. I've not seen the clips, guys. Bro, it's not about them. The protest is not about the manager. This is what people are not understanding, right? The protest is not about the manager leaving. The protest is about the mismanagement of the club from top to bottom. That's what this protest is about, is that people aren't happy with how the club's being run. People aren't happy with what the ownership are doing. This is not about the manager walking out. This is not a protest about Maresca leaving. This is a protest about the way that the football club is run and fans just having enough of what they're seeing right now. Look, I never hate people, but look, as I said before, if people want to write things off from day one, they're entitled to do that. That's their opinion. That's their prerogative. No problem. I like to give things a bit of a chance because sometimes things take a little bit of time and things need to be given a chance. I've given this ownership a huge chance, and they've not proven they haven't proven me wrong in any of my thoughts, and now it's time to speak out against them. The time is now. Maybe the time was before now, but you know, whether you were one of the first to think this or whether you've woken up to it recently, the most important thing is that fans are aligned in their thoughts. Fans are aligned in their thoughts. But anyway, look, it is what it is. The protest is taking place next weekend. We've got a cup tie to focus on first, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does. This is a must-win game. This is a must-win game because we're in horror form in the league, absolutely terrible form in the league. And we need a win ASAP. I don't think we can afford to be making wholesale changes in this game. Yes, there'll be some level of rotation, but there won't be wholesale change. I think there'll be 11 changes because, yes, you've got to get the balance right between Charlton and obviously Arsenal in the Cup. But Arsenal in the Cup's not till Wednesday. You've got Sunday, Monday. You've got 3 days to prepare for that. I'm not saying go strongest 11, but I think you need to go as close to it as possible. We can't be taking liberties here. We cannot be taking liberties here in the Cup. Charlton are a championship side. It's away from home. It's an evening kickoff. They're going to be bang up for it. It's going to be the biggest game they've had in a number of years. And we need to win this game for a number of reasons because we haven't had a domestic cup since 2018. We also need to win this game because our confidence is low. And the Cup could be exactly the distraction that we potentially need from our horror league form. Now, obviously, we're going to get into the Cup later on, but the January window, and this was obviously yesterday on a show that Give Me Sport do, and Fabrizio Romano was on there talking about the Chelsea transfer window. Chelsea are calm and happy with their squad. Also, Rosenior is happy with the squad as it stands. If there's an opportunity in the market, I'm sick of hearing this market opportunity BS. I'm fed up of it. We hear this every time. Oh, if there's an opportunity in the market, to bring an important player, then Chelsea could act. But it's a calm situation right now. Chelsea left the conversation for Semenyo because they weren't convinced on the numbers of the deal and understood he wanted Man City. Well, let's just address that Semenyo thing, by the way. We were unsure on the numbers, weren't convinced on the numbers of the deal. You knew the numbers of the deal before you even briefed that we've inquired. You knew it was a £65 million release clause, 62.5 plus a further 2.5. You knew that was the case. You knew what the money was. You knew how the release clause had to be paid or whatever. And then you probably had a very good idea that Man City were at the front of the queue. And you probably had a good idea what his wages were. So let's not go out there and now speak after the matter and say, well, actually, we weren't convinced on the numbers. The numbers weren't out there and known to everyone. I knew the numbers of the deal. You lot knew the numbers of the deal. So this again is just more lying and more trying to save face from the fact that we got rejected. We put in an inquiry way too late. We got rejected. He wasn't interested in the project. We then pretend and then pretend, by the way, that we didn't know that Man City wanted him. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. But hey, you know, we knew that was going to be the case. We went in late for him. I reckon that was a move. We knew full well what the situation was. But they probably did that to try and appease the fans, to try and make it look like they were doing something, to try and make it look like they were going to sign a serious player, when in reality, they had absolutely no intentions of doing any of that. Now, this idea that we're happy with the current squad, I don't buy that for one. I don't buy that for one moment that they're happy with the squad. Egbali, the sporting directors, the whole group were there on Wednesday night. They watched it. They saw in front of their very eyes. I'm majorly concerned if this lot sat there and watched that and thought, nah, we don't need to do anything this month. The squad's absolutely fine as it is. We'll just leave it. We don't need to do anything, chat. We don't need to do anything. We'll just leave it as it is, and it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. Is that really what we're doing here, guys? Is that really what we're doing? Happy with the squad FC, even though the squad is 8th, even though the squad is not good enough, even though we've won 8 out of 21 games with this current squad, but the squad's good. We're happy with the squad. And the reason we are where we are has nothing to do with the quality of the squad. It was all Maresca's fault. Is that essentially what people are thinking? Is that essentially what the club are thinking? I mean, I seriously wonder how these guys in these positions actually view the game. It's honestly baffling to me. You know, and Matisse summed it up very, very well. Let me see if I can find this from Matisse. Hold on, chat. Let me see if I can find this from Matisse. It was a thing on DR Sports, but he was speaking absolute facts. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, lack of quality. This is it here. Let me bring this up now, chat, and let me know if you agree or disagree with this. Bro, we need a centre-back. We needed a centre-back in the summer. Maresca asked for a centre-back. We didn't get him one. We still need a centre-back. We've still got issues from a defensive standpoint. And as Top Bin said, it just heads in the sand. Mark Gurr, he's there. He's there. Arsenal looking at him. Liverpool looking at him. Man City looking at him. Why are Chelsea not looking at him? Why are Chelsea not looking at him? Embarrassing optics all round. We're either not interested when he'd start for us every week, or we've disrespected him and burnt the bridges so much that he's not even interested in coming back, which for a common graduate is beyond poor. Beyond poor. Anyway, it's not the price. The price is like 30 or 35 million. Let's not do this. It's the price. Right. This is facts from Matisse here. Let me just bring this up now. Check me full screen the thing. We can. This is the gaffer speaking here.
Premier League right now is not a big enough differential between quality in some of these teams. There's so many players that we have that could easily go and play for Bournemouth or Brentford, and you would not even bat an eyelid. That is not how you differentiate between the teams on the pitch. Chelsea had Jose Mourinho, Chelsea had Conte, but we also had Hazard, we had Kante, Diego Costa. They don't walk into Bournemouth's team. They annihilate these teams. You know what I mean? World-class managers want world-class players for a reason. It's not for a joke. And I'm not saying that the whole team needs to be Galacticos, but you can't have a forward line. There's no guarantees in it apart from Palmer, who's fallen off the wagon. You got a striker in the box who can't head the ball. You got a winger that can't stop crossing the ball. It's not rocket science. People ask, how can we drop points? Someone can cross the ball and Jimenez can head the ball. Goal.
Great header as well.
It's a great header. But it's like, make things make sense. And they don't even do that.
They don't even do that. That's absolute facts. That's absolute facts. You know, and when you deep it, chat, you know, you look at it and you think it's right, because Gittins and Garnacho wouldn't look out of place starting for Brentford or Bournemouth. I don't even think Liam Delap would look out of place playing for you know, one of those sides. There are so many players in this team that you could easily switch into the Bournemouth team or the Brentford team or the Brighton team or whatever it might be, and you wouldn't think anything of it. There's talent in the squad. I've never, ever doubted or denied there's talent in this squad. The problem is there is not enough proven quality. Not enough proven quality anywhere, chat. Not enough proven quality anywhere. And that's the problem. You know, and what he said there, what Matisse was saying there is facts. You know, you've got a centre forward in Delap who can't head the ball. You've got a winger in Pedro Neto who just can't stop crossing the ball. There's no relationships on the pitch. Like, things we're doing just don't make sense. Things we're doing just don't make sense. Look at the quality of players we used to have, and now look at what we've got. You know, you don't need top superstars from 1 to 11. But you need much, much better quality than we've got. Much, much better quality than we've got. Bro, this is true, unfortunately. You know, the league doesn't lie. The league table does not lie, chat. You know, people can say, oh, this squad is better than it's performing at. Maybe it's a little bit better, but it's a 4th or 5th place squad, max. Absolute max. You know, when you start doing agent favours and when you start playing players to boost their squad value, when you're signing players with a first thought of, how can I sell these guys in a few years for decent money rather than signing players to improve a football team, that's where the collapse is starting. That's where all this mid stuff, all this crap mentality, all this nonsense started. When we replaced top quality players with bang average players. Players who, as we said, wouldn't look at a place at mid-table Premier League clubs. Do you get what I'm saying, chap? The quality in the squad is just so bad. So bad. I mean, we've got to be doing better. Like, surely you can look at it and think, there's some better players out there than what we're buying. I don't want to see a Valentin Barco arriving in the summer. I don't want to see that. We've already got a Mega and Quenda arriving, 2 players who are unproven again. Again, 2 players that are unproven. It's not even asking for much to sign some proven quality. It really isn't. Like, how can people watch Chelsea and think this squad is really good? It's not. It isn't good. It isn't good at all. Yes, I will be there for the protest. I will be there for the protest, chat. Don't worry. I'll be there. And I think it's gathering some serious momentum, by the way. I think it's gathering some good momentum. I think it should be a really good turnout. So let's hope for the best on that front. But that's a week away. We've got 2 games to get through first before we get to that. I mean, I don't agree with all of that, but you're not a million miles off, brother. You're not a million miles off. Yeah, that's also fair, brother. That's also fair. Maresca said he was in love with the squad. It's clear that wasn't it's clear that wasn't quite the case, was it? It's clear that wasn't quite the case. Guys, we're 161 in the building, 65 likes. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Subscribe if you're new round here as well. We need to push ever closer to that 20k mark. The Rosenior press conference is coming up soon, chat. Starting soon. 5 minutes time. We'll get that up. Pause. So no signings yet. We're definitely going to finish 15th. I want to go that far, bro, but yeah, it's not great. Yeah, look, by the way, I'm not saying they're all bad, but the quality in depth is nowhere near the required standard. You've got players starting for Chelsea on a regular basis who shouldn't be, who should be squad players. Some of them who shouldn't even be at the football club. And that's where we have to be honest, chat. Some of these lot shouldn't even be at the football club, and they're starting regular games for the club, and they shouldn't even be here. Yeah, no, of course. I'll make sure that I capture some of the praise. I'm not going to film the whole thing, but I'll make sure that we will that I get some of that, because it's important to capture that. It's important to broadcast it, to promote it, to say what's happening. I agree, bro. I absolutely agree. It can't be a one-off. You can't do a protest, then wait basically a year, do another one. You've got to keep the pressure on and keep sending the message. You have to. Yes, but there's a big difference between working with young players in a stress-free, pressure-free environment at Strasbourg in Liga than it is working in the Premier League with pressure on, with needing to win every game, with working with a much higher caliber of player. The two things aren't comparable in my view. I hope he does well. I hope he can do well. We need him to do well. But this idea, just because you develop players at Strasbourg, that means that's going to translate straight over to Chelsea and you're going to do exactly the same thing. For me, that doesn't run. It doesn't run like that. It doesn't run like that. Bro, Palmer's been poor. Palmer's been poor since he returned. I absolutely agree. Bro, fans are going to celebrate when we win. Just like, there's big problems at the club. But fans will celebrate when we win games because that's what it's all about. Well, this is it, bro. You know, yeah, and to a certain extent, look, I don't agree fully with all of that, but I do agree with a lot of it. You know, they can say they want to win the Premier League title, they want to win the major trophies, but their realities, their actions state otherwise. To have spent £1.5–2 billion and not even have a squad that's capable of competing for a Premier League title, yet you say you want to compete and win Premier League titles, the two things aren't adding up there. No, I don't think he'll play exactly the same. Yeah, if he tries and does the goalkeeper thing that he was doing with Penders in the Premier League and he tries to do it with Sanchez, that there's going to be problems there. He needs to be smarter than that. Absolute facts. I don't understand how anyone can disagree with that. How can anyone disagree with that? You know, how can anyone disagree with it? For what we've got, for the money we've spent, what we've got's nowhere near good enough. Bro, I'm just saying my thoughts, you know. I don't think it's unfair. I praise when things are good. I praise players, managers, and whatnot. But right now, the ownership are a massive problem. The managers are complete unknown, and we're in trouble. Like there's not a lot to be positive about. I'm not going to come on here and just be like, oh, everything's great. You know, I'm going to come on here and give my true opinion of how I feel about the club right now. And I'm not just going to sit here and pretend that everything's great and the team's great and the whole situation at the club is great. You know, it's about having open debate, different opinions at the end of the day. You know, that's what I like about this platform, is that no opinion is unwelcome. You know, all opinions are welcome. And difference of opinion is encouraged. It's good to have difference of opinion. You know, if you're happy about the state of the club right now, then I respect that view. No problem. For me, the club's not in a good place right now. Well, bro, you're going to be waiting a while then. No, it'll probably go Jorgensen. It is the FA Cup. It's the third round. I think he'll go. I think he'll be with Jorgensen. I think he'll go Jorgensen. Look, it's going to take less points to get Champions League than it has done in previous seasons. I would have thought because of how inconsistent, all the teams are that are chasing that fifth place. It's going to take definitely less points. But over the last 17 games, I think there's 17 games left, it's going to take 9 or 10 wins. It's going to take 9 or 10 wins to get this done. It's going to take 9 or 10 wins over the second half. Oh, right. We're on, boys. We're on, chat.
Winning Chelsea manager. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for you over the next few months?
I think the biggest challenge in any club, in any team, is making sure you create the right culture, you create the right spirit, you have the right values. The reality at this football club, the talent levels that I've seen in the last 2 days of training, the ability of the players is world class. I've got a fantastic group to work with, which I'm very excited about. But winning teams are consistent when they have a good spirit, when they have a good energy, when they fight for each other, when they put pride in the shirt. And I think that's my job now. I think the previous coach Enzo's done a fantastic job with these players tactically. A very good team already. Now it's my job to try and take it to the next level, and me and my staff are going to work really hard with that.
And clearly this job works within a structure that's quite different maybe from other clubs. How helpful is it for you to have had that understanding of it, to know where those boundaries are, to know where you can push and where you can't push? I think when you have to say yes and when you have to say no, I guess. I
think that's the same at every football club. Every football club's unique in the way that it works. I have to say, my time at Strasbourg was the best 18 months of my professional career, of my life. The experiences that I had, what I learned, the people I met, and the people I work with here. I can say the guys I've worked with here, in terms of the overall project, have been nothing but supportive to me. Have given me confidence, have allowed me to make mistakes, have allowed me to learn. There's always going to be speculation about how these things work. I've enjoyed every moment, and I intend to fully enjoy this next step in my career with them, and hopefully bring everyone at the club success.
Clearly there's been quite a high turnover of coaches in this club. I wonder, before you said yes, which I'm sure was almost immediate, if you picked up the phone and you got some advice from anybody in particular you went to.
I think the turnover of managers now, regardless of club, is huge. The pressure is there from day one. I'm aware of that. If I wasn't willing to take on that pressure or that privilege, I think the bigger club you're at, the higher the pressure, but the higher the privilege. I have to take that into account. So for me, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow night. I couldn't wait to get here when we agreed the deal and meet the players and meet the staff who have been nothing but supportive, made me feel at home. It comes with the territory. If you're scared or if you're fearful, then there's no point being a coach. I've worked so hard pretty much my whole life for this opportunity. So now I'm just going to enjoy it, which is important. I'm going to work 24 hours a day. I'm intense when I'm with the players, and I'm going to push them as hard as I possibly can to be successful.
And just one for me then, what did you learn from watching from the stands, apart from the fact that you might need to just curb some of those red cards and maybe the yellow ones that followed?
Yeah, I think what I learned the most, I thought Callum, who now I'm delighted has joined our coaching staff, he's done an incredible job in terms of the performance. Obviously, it's very disappointing to lose any game. What I loved was the fact 70 minutes the lads played with 10 men, played with real energy, played with passion, created chances. At times, it looked like we still had 11 men on the pitch. They were really, really positive signs for me. Obviously, the result is not what we want. But there's a lot of really, really good building blocks that Callum's put in. After the lads, rightfully so, were disappointed to lose their previous coach, which I would expect every group of decent people would be upset when their coach leaves the football club.
Thanks, Gail. John?
Is discipline one of the problems you have to address quite early on? It's obviously 7 red cards this season, and maybe more so the 3 yellow cards that were picked up, straight after the red card. Is that something you need to speak to the players about?
It's one of the few things that, for sure we can improve on. I know how we do that. I've spoken to the players in a different way. about managing setbacks, because in life you get setbacks, not just in football. What we have, they show passion, they show emotion for the shirt, which is a really positive thing. It's making sure that in key moments we react positively to a setback, we stay calm. But I think those mistakes, if you want to call it, come from passion. The lads want to win. So I don't want to take that out of them at the same time. So there's a fine balance between going overboard. You can't, to win, you can't be nice all the time. You have to have an edge. And I don't want to take that away from the lads.
You've spoken about how good this group is. You've walked into a great situation. But how surprised are you that this group of players has won one game from the last 9 in the league? I mean, that's an incredible run.
It's a tough run. It's a tough league. And we're not the only club that's going to go through a difficult period of the season. Every club does. Top teams, of which we are, top clubs go through different spells and different periods in the season. Hopefully, I can add my own ideas, my own stamp, my own voice. Sometimes a different voice helps. But the players haven't been far away. Manchester City was an outstanding performance second half. Could have gone on to win the game. Against Fulham, we were down to 10 men for 70 minutes. We're in the game in a really, really difficult place to go. We're not far away. And that's really, really important for the players to know.
You touched on it a moment ago, but in this job, actually,
we're always not far away.
Can you actually be your own man with influences? Medical team, people above. I mean, how difficult a balancing act is it?
I don't think it's possible to ever be in this job and not be your own man. People will see through you straight away. I will make the decisions at this football club. That's why I've been brought in. I understand. I'm not an alien. I know what's being said in the press, but there's no way you can be successful as a manager if you don't make the decisions for yourself. And the great thing for me is I've experience of working in this setup. The guys have been nothing but supportive for me at Strasbourg. We've had huge success at that club from where the project started, and I intend to work exactly the same way here.
And what are the aims and the ambitions sitting here now for the season? What would be a successful season?
I've said to the players, focus on winning the next game. Focus on winning the next game and winning the next game and winning the next game. And that's how you go on a run. And with the talent that we have, and actually not just the talent, the level of professionalism of the group, the intensity at which they've trained the last 2 days, their engagement to something new, there's really, really positive signs here. And I never limit the ambitions of my group. We've got world-class players here. We've got players who have won World Cups. The lads won the Club World Cup a matter of months ago, and I watched that game, and they were absolutely magnificent against PSG. The potential for this club, for this group, is limitless, and I won't limit limitlessness. I want to be successful. I'm ambitious. People know that about me, but I always have to make sure we get from where we are to where we need to be, and that takes time. I'm not asking for too much time, but at the same time, you need to make sure you know where your process is headed.
Thanks, John.
And just to clear it up, your surname is pronounced Rosenior.
My dad says Rosenior, which is the way to pronounce it, but as long as it's nice, you say something nice about me, I don't mind.
Ian.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
When you were at Derby or Hull, thinking of managing Chelsea within, 2 years, was that always something you thought was possible?
I just said you don't limit your ambitions. I'm not arrogant. I'm good at what I do. I'm good at what I do. And in every job that I've worked, whether it was as an interim, as an assistant, as a head coach or a manager, or whatever you want to call it, relative to the group I've worked with, I've been successful. So for me, I've always wanted to be at a club like this. But it's not about just being here. It's about being successful. So this is the beginning for me. I'm going to give it everything. I'm not guaranteed. Nobody can guarantee wins. Nobody can guarantee success. But at the same time, I've worked very, very hard for a long time to try and put myself in a position where I can be successful.
You also said a minute ago, you know what's being written about you. You know that for as many people who for as many people who want you to succeed, there are many saying, he's got no chance in the Premier League, his first job at Chelsea. Yet, just down the road at Brentford, Keith Andrews has proved this season actually that's rubbish.
Yeah, Keith's a great guy. Worked with him in media duties. When he was appointed as manager of Brentford, I wasn't surprised now at the success he's having. It's the same thing with young players, young managers. Unless you give people an opportunity, how can they show what they can do? You always have to start somewhere. And for me, I'm very proud to be a young English coach who's now at one of the biggest clubs in world football. But there's no hard work, determination, sacrifice. I've sacrificed hours with my family. I've been away from my family for 18 months. I've sacrificed time in terms of my coaching, education, my career. You have to give people a chance and for them to show what they can do. And that translates to the way that I will do that here. I will give my young players a chance to show, to grow, because potential is amazing when it's realized, and hopefully I can realize my own potential.
Apart from the language, what's the difference between coaching in England and France?
The great thing I learned, not much. People are people. That's one of the best things I learned about going abroad. Yes, the language, the culture. France is a beautiful country. It's a fantastic league. I think it's a league that hasn't been given the credit it deserves tactically or in terms of the ability of the players. PSG won the Champions League last season. So I learned many things there, but I would say the biggest thing I learned is when you connect with people, they all have the same needs. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter your background. You all have the same needs. You need to feel like you're a part of something. And that's what I want to create here.
A couple of short ones to finish with. First of all, you used the word earlier, enjoy. You want to enjoy it. I get the impression, being a Premier League manager, the last word that comes with that is enjoyment.
Why?
Well, because it's high pressured and...
My friend, I am so fortunate. I'm working with some outstanding, talented players. I'm paid well. I'm lucky to be in a job. Pressure is a privilege. There are many people in the world who would love to be in my shoes, and I try to remember that every day with humility. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. There's going to be difficult moments. It's not going to be all smooth sailing, but if you don't enjoy what you do, you don't do it at your best. And I want the fans to enjoy watching the team play. Football's to be enjoyed, and I definitely want my players to enjoy what they do as well.
And that's why I spoke to Nathan Jones yesterday. He was gushing in praise for you. Said that he knew when he was at Brighton that you were going to be a coach, and like him, wants to be a coach in the Premier League. It'd be weird your first game being with someone you know so well.
Yeah, Nathan's top. He's had an outstanding career as a manager. It's going to be a very difficult game tomorrow. They play with real intensity. They are very, very difficult to play against. I've watched a lot of their recent games. It's going to be a typical English Cup tie, third round in January. And my players need to be able to stand up to that intensity. You know, that's the first thing in football. It's all about systems, tactics. You have to win the battle. You have to win duels. You have to win headers. You have to run. And that's the message I've given to the players over the last 2 days.
Good luck and enjoy it.
I will do.
Thanks, Ian. Charlie?
Liam, firstly, congratulations on your role here at Chelsea. Secondly, you're here on merit, you're here on your talent. But, you know, your point means a lot to a lot of people in terms of the fact that you've just mentioned it there. You are one of the few English managers, head coaches in the Premier League right now, and you're also just the second black manager currently in the Premier League. Having been involved in your dad's workshops, knowing the work that he's done, I can only imagine what that means to your family. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, I'm just very proud to be sat here as Chelsea head coach in front of you. I've worked very hard for a long time. And for me, I'm very fortunate. I'm mixed heritage. My mum's white, my dad's black, West African. I just want anyone, doesn't matter where you're from, your background, your gender, just to be appreciated for what they can bring. And if I can be successful, then maybe it breaks down a few things. It is at the furthest thought of my mind right now. I just want to be myself, and I want to be successful in every minute that I'm here. And yeah, it's a great thing. But if I think too much about that, I'm not focused on the enormous job that's in front of me.
In terms of main priorities between now and the end of the season, where do you think the best chance for Chelsea is? Because of course the FA Cup campaign starts tomorrow. You're in the League Cup semi-final, still in the Champions League. So is there one trophy in particular that you're targeting?
Try and win every game that you play. That's the reality. If you start pinpointing and saying one competition is more important than the other, that's crazy. You have to compete every day in training. You have to try and win every time you train. You have to try and win every game that you play. And if you think too far ahead, that's when you fall. So for me, it's the focus is Charlton. And trying to put a run together of results that put us in a really good place. But I'm not thinking too far ahead. We just have to focus on the here and now.
Thanks for Charlie. Soraya?
Good to see you. How would you describe your process match to match as a manager in the Premier League and in the FA Cup? A lot of people have said, I like analytics, I like watching 50 games of another manager and opponent. Are you like that? Are you obsessed with that? Or do you like to focus on what you can control in-house? And how have you prepped for Charlton?
We have a very strong process here. I'm quite collaborative with my staff, so I'm open to different ideas. I only have one set of eyes, but I make sure with my set of eyes, I'm watching as much as possible. I analyze a lot of games. I work very much on our own performance as well. That will continue here. I want us to be dominant. I want us to have a strong identity where people enjoy what they see from us. But at the same time, you have to be tactically adaptable. And I work with my staff. I have brought an outstanding staff in with me. We have very strong processes with the group as well in how we how we deliver the games to the players, which they've learned today. We'll get used to that. There's a lot of detail that goes into that. And yeah, everybody's different. I want to focus on the strengths of my team, but also counteract the strengths of the opposition. And that's the way we'll continue to work.
Obviously, in the top 5 leagues, we do see goalkeepers get involved in that build-up play.
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. But obviously, at Strasbourg, we've seen your goalkeeper be up with the centre-backs. Do you think that's something that you can implement with this Chelsea team and the goalkeepers you have?
Every team is different. You work to the ability of your players. You work to what their strengths are. I'm very fortunate. Both Jorgensen and Sanchez are world-class goalkeepers with their feet, which absolutely suits the way I want to play.
Right.
But I'm not going to come in here on the first day and say to Rob to play from the halfway line or for Philippe to play from the halfway. It takes time. It's a process. I feel very confident I can bring the best out of my group in different areas and different aspects. And playing one way with one team is different to playing another way with another. I can be adaptable. It's about my players and their strengths.
Thanks, Soraya. Simon?
Hi, Liam. You were at Craven Cottage, obviously, the other night and heard the fans.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's quite toxic. I think it might continue. What's your message to them in terms of trying to win them over and trying to get them behind the team?
Yeah.
Focus on that.
I think, at a club of this stature, the fans want success and they have every right to want success now. This club is ingrained in the history of winning trophies, especially in recent history, winning titles or winning Champions Leagues. And the fans should have those demands and those standards. My job, to win over the fans, I need to win games of football. To win over the fans, I think they need to see a team that represents them. I know this area well. I was born in not far up the road. And it's about hard work. It's about determination, spirit. I remember playing at Stamford Bridge when Jose Mourinho's team were at their very best, and it was so difficult physically. John Terry, Carvalho, Paulo Ferreira, Essien, Makaleli, Drogba, Joe Cole, who's here. He's in the room at the back. He's waving over. There was a physicality about the team. There was a winning mentality about the team, and that's what the fans demand. We're trying to build something in a different way. I'm very, very confident that in time we'll show people why we've done it this way. And my job is to move that forward and try and get this club to that place where teams really, really fair coming to Stamford Bridge. And the fans really, really look forward to every game that we play.
You obviously experienced similar at Strasbourg. So
yeah.
Does that help you?
Yeah, I'll be honest, when I went in at Strasbourg, I was a joke in the media. They said that my team would finish last. It was an impossible project, that the players were way too young, too inexperienced. I was a nobody from England. We finished, I think, 3 points outside the Champions League. The outside noise is just noise. If you focus on the job, you focus on your players and your staff and your process, I feel like you can do amazing things. I am not promising it. I'm working towards it, but I believe very strongly that we can be successful here.
Thanks, Simon. Rob?
With
this is long, by the
your
way.
ability working with younger players that particularly impressed the bosses here. What is it about the way you work as a coach that makes you suitable?
No, he was talking about with his feet.
Well, firstly, other than Ben Chilwell, who was magnificent in 28, all I had at Strasbourg were young players, and they were a joy to work with. I've worked with senior players. I remember we were having a great relationship with Phil Jagielka, who was 41 at the time at Derby, with Curtis Davis, who was 38. Age is one thing, it's your ability to learn, it's wanting to be engaged in something. I'm not going to sit here and talk about my strengths as a coach. My job is to show it on a pitch, on a match day, and in training, delivering the very highest quality of sessions and meetings to the players. I will let other people speak for me. It's not for me to speak about my own strengths.
What similarities do you see between what you had to work with at Strasbourg and what you're going to work with?
Some outstanding, talented players with huge potentials. But the job for me is to turn the potential into reality. There's a lot of similarities in the recruitment of both projects. There's an idea about the way that the team should play, and I fit into that. So for me, I'm very excited to get to work with this group. I've had 2 wonderful days being welcomed in by everyone. I feel at home already. The players have been magnificent with me in their engagement and how they've made me and my staff feel at home. And now I want to get into the games with them.
Thanks, Rob. Ben?
Liam, is your expectation that the leadership group for the players stays the same, captains, vice-captains, and specifically on Reece James? Speak a bit about his leadership qualities, and is he a midfielder or a fullback?
He's a very, very good player. He's a very good player, and good players can play in many different positions. I've analysed the recent games that we've played before I've come in, and I have to say, Reece, in terms of his impact on the group, in terms of his performances when he's been on the pitch, I think he's growing every day. He's growing every day, and it's exciting to be working with Reece at this stage of his career now, because I think he has levels. This exciting thing for Reece, he has levels that he can go to even beyond what he's performing now. I think that's where a lot of these players are. It's always difficult when a manager, and Enzo's been very successful here in his own way in terms of winning 2 trophies. When a manager leaves, the group should be disappointed. It's a bad thing if a manager leaves a club and the players aren't disappointed, then there's something wrong. What I've learned in the last 2 days, not just about Reece or the leadership group, all of them, they want success. All of them are honest. They've worked magnificently for me the last 2 days, and I can't wait to get to know them better and to try and help them in their leadership to come here for a long time.
Thanks, Ben. And we'll finish with Davido.
Right, a lot of questions, chat.
In building your idea of football, which managers were inspirational for you?
It was I grew up with my dad, and my dad was a coach, and he was obsessed by football. Therefore, I was obsessed by football. I remember being probably 6 years old, 7 years old, Arrigo Sacchi's Milan, Louis van Gaal's Ajax, Van der Sar, Davids, Clarence Seedorf, Barcelona. My dad always encouraged me to watch teams from abroad because that was the football he enjoyed, and that's influenced my thinking in terms of the way I want to see my team play. I had a great experience in France, playing against 2 of my idols, Luis Enriquez. I don't have a big ego. Luis Enriquez is a magnificent coach. I managed to play against him. Roberto De Zerbi, someone who I have a lot of time and respect for. It will be the same in the Premier League. Pep Guardiola has been one of my heroes. I'm not afraid to say that as Chelsea manager. Now I get to go against him. Brilliant, And for me, it's about having that respect for other coaches in the league, but never having too much respect where I don't think I can be successful, because I think with this group, with my idea, I think we can be successful against these teams and these coaches in our own right.
And when you look at the group you mentioned a lot of good qualities. Can you find a bad quality in the group? Ones that maybe you need to work on?
Are you talking about negative?
Yeah, negative.
Of course you are. You're a journalist. That's a joke. It was a joke. I'm allowed to have a joke. No, I wouldn't say I don't speak about negatives. I think the biggest hurdle we have is realizing the huge potential that we have in the group. Is realizing it. Having what potential is one thing. I'm potentially a very good coach. My players are potential. Well, some of them already are world-class players. We need to not be a potentially world-class team. We need to be a world-class team.
Yes,
and that's where I'm trying to take.
That's what we need to be doing.
Okay, thanks, Davido, and thanks everyone. We'll end that section.
Davido, is that like Davido the rapper? Right, chat. Oh shit, I don't want to do that. Right, we can get rid of that. Do you know what, chat? Right, and I know a lot of people aren't happy about this appointment, and I know a lot of people are fuming with the current situation at the football club. However, he speaks very, very well. He comes across very well. He says the right things. We talked about this after his interview with the in-house media as well. Okay, we talked about this. But as I've said before, it's all very well coming across well. It's all very well speaking well, communicating well, saying the right things, getting fans believing in what you're saying. But ultimately, the only thing that matters is winning football matches. So I really hope that this guy can back up his talk, he can walk the walk, and he can deliver the results that this football club needs and that this football club demands. That is what we have to do. That is what we have to do. That is what we have to do. This guy, Rosenior, needs to deliver the results. Needs to deliver the results. The chat, great. You speak well, you come across well, fair play. You only have to look at what he was doing when he was a pundit at Sky a few years ago. Very articulate, speaks very well. As very the way that he is as a person, he sort of comes across very philosophical. Chat, there's 372 in the building. There's only 126 likes. Get this up to 200 likes now, people. Smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff, chap. Keep it stepping. Keep it stepping. You know, and look, I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, oh my God, he's the second coming of God, and he's like, oh my God, look at the way he's communicated. Look at these words that he said. Look at these answers that he's given. You know, it's hard not to be impressed by the way that he's handled that press conference and the way that he's come across and the way that he's spoken. However, as we all know, that doesn't matter if you don't get results on the football pitch. No one's going to sit here and be saying, oh, by the way, Liam's a great communicator, but we're not getting results on the pitch. No one cares about your communication skills if you don't get results on the pitch. And do you know what? He is fully aware that he's in a very fortunate position, that he's in a very privileged position, and he knows exactly what he has to do if he's going to be accepted here. He won't admit it like in front of the media, in front of the press, but he knows that the fans aren't fully on board with his appointment. Deep down, he knows that. He's not stupid. He would have seen things in the media. He knows the chanting that was taking place at Craven Cottage on Wednesday night. He knows all these things, right? And the most important thing is that he wins people over. And he knows that he's got to win people over. He knows he's got to win people over. And the only way he's going to do that is by winning. And I'm going to be very interested to see how he gets us playing and how he gets this team winning. Because it's all very well sitting there. You know, we've got world-class squad, this and that. But we're one win in 9. That's a horrendous form. That's horrendous form, chat. 1 win in 9. You know, 100%. And this is the thing, right? We can all have our thoughts and opinions. I've made mine very clear. I think this job's too soon for him. I think this job is too big for him at this point in his career. I'm not sure he's up to it. However, I'm supporting the manager. I'm getting behind the manager, and I want him to be a success because we all need him to be a success, because we all want Chelsea to be a success, chat. We all want Chelsea to be a success. So we need him to do well. However, I am hoping very much that in 6 months, 12 months' time, I come back on here and I say, do you know what, guys? I was completely wrong about Liam Rosenior. He's brilliant. He's won us trophies. He's picked up good results. He's got us back into the Champions League when things looked difficult for us. He plays a more exciting brand of football. He's got Cole Palmer back to his best. He's done X, Y, Z with so-and-so. That's what I need to be doing. But he knows that talk doesn't mean much either. He knows that talk doesn't mean much either. But I'm not on board with people writing someone off before they've even managed a game for the club. I'm not about that. We got to learn to stop doing this, chat. Just because we might not agree with the decision, and I don't think a lot of people do agree with the decision. But once a player's in through the door, once a manager's in through the door, in my opinion, we as fans need to support those people. Look at I'll use Cucurella as the best example. Cucurella is the best example of this, chap. Came in, was ridiculed for his performances, booed by Chelsea fans, was about to join Man United on loan, stayed, and he's turned it around. He's one of the best left-backs in the world, and he's one of our most important players. I'm not saying every story is going to be like that. I'm not saying that every story is going to be like that at all. But what I am saying is, chat, don't write people off too early. Don't write them off too early. People deserve better than that. They deserve more than that. You know, whether we like Rosenior or not, whether you agree with the appointment, that he's worked very hard in his career to get to this stage. Yes, he wasn't the manager, but the point still stands, is that you have to give people a chance. If we get 10, 15 games in and Rosenior's not getting the results and it's crap, then fair enough. But I'm going to be willing with every bone in my body for him to win matches, for him to get results, for him to do well. Because of Chelsea fans, we need this. We need this right now. How am I flip-flopping? He is here because of Blueco, but he's worked hard to be in this position. He's worked hard to be in this position. Sure, he's got a shortcut through Blueco. Absolutely, he has. And he'll be fully aware that that's the situation. But he is inexperienced. He is inexperienced. You know, that doesn't need to be pointed out. We're fully aware that he lacks experience. We're fully aware. Big up, brother. Nah, not much, you know, not much. We obviously got the press conference just done from Rosenior. First one. Long. I mean, normally press conference is about 5-10 minutes. But annoying thing is, there was nothing about the Charlton game. There was nothing about the Charlton game at all. Maybe that'll come in the embargoed section that drops at 10:30 p.m. tonight. Maybe there'll be some team news questions. But no one asked anything about the team news. No one asked anything about the team news, which is a bit annoying. I mean, yeah. And this is going to be an accusation that's going to be leveled. And this is going to be something that, you know, he's going to have to deal with. He's going to have to answer. And the extent of interference from above, we don't know the full extent, but we know it happens. We know it's there. You know, none of us can bury our heads in the sand and pretend that that doesn't happen, because this absolutely happens. This absolutely happens. You know? Yeah, bro, it's on the door. It's on the door. I'm sure you can appreciate that the signed Reece James had to replace the Zola. We've got the signed Reece James up here. We've then got the signed Esteval there. And then we've got the signed squad shirt from the Pochettino season there. And then what else have we got, chat? We've got signed. Oh, have I shown these? We might as well do it. We've got signed Cole Palmer shirt. Is that zoomed in? Is that signed Cole Palmer? We've got. What else have we got? We've got signed Enzo Fernandez. We've got 2012 Champions League final shirt, signed John Terry. But this all needs to be sorted out, though, chat. This all needs to be sorted out. Press conference will go on YouTube probably in a few hours. In a few hours, I'd imagine. Or, mate, you can scroll back on the stream, scroll back half an hour on the stream, and we streamed it. So you can watch it back there. Look, no, I probably don't think he's going to be the man that gets us back to challenging for a Premier League title. I probably don't think that. But I'm still going to support him and back him because I want Chelsea to do well. No, absolutely not, mate. I've always said results do not change the fact that this ownership is not delivering for Chelsea Football Club. Results do not change that. Results do not change that fact. Results don't change that fact. It's very simple. You know, we will. 100%, 100%. I mean, look, most of them he did. He obviously didn't really speak about the chance against the ownership. Look, you have to ask that question. As a journalist, you've got to do your job and answer that question. You are never going to get a proper answer from the gaffer on that. You are never going to get a proper answer from the gaffer on that. Well, no, I wasn't meant to be doing that at all. But someone was bloody asking where the Zola shirt was, and so I had to explain the situation, and then thought, let's do a little bit of a show and tell. Yeah, the signed Koulibaly. Well, do you know what? When I go to Saudi, I'll go to Riyadh. We'll go to Al Hilal training ground, and we'll get the signed Koulibaly. No, I haven't got any others at the moment, chat. We'll see what else we can get. I had to cash in at Cobham. I was never going to get that opportunity again potentially, so we had to take the shirts in the bag and see what we can do. Yeah, he's on the wall because he's one of the best young players in world football. It's not about what he's done now; it's about what he might do in years to come. Now, can I just make this very clear? That was not a flex. I just thought I'd show the collection because someone asked the question. No flex, no flex. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Paid for the Enzo ones from the club shop and the Palmer ones from the club shop as well. And they're all from the club shop. The 2012 shirt is not from the club shop. No, they will. It just doesn't go on straight away. It just doesn't go on straight away, mate. That's all. Chat, we're less than 50 likes away now from 200 likes. Make sure you smash the like button, people. No, of course there is. Of course there is. No one's disputing that. No one's disputing that the CV is not particularly impressive. No one's disputing that. No, we could never. We could never. No, we could never, chat. We could never. But they won't. They won't. I don't think they will. He knows exactly what he signed up for. He knows exactly what he signed up for, and he knows how they work. Nothing that greets him at Chelsea should come as a surprise. Nice. Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, signed shirts is a good thing to get in. It's a good thing to collect. I mean, I'll always try. I will always get it signed myself if I can, just because I don't want to pay for a signed shirt. But if I have to, I have to. But I would always look to do it myself. That's why I had to just stuff so many shirts in my bag at Cobham because I don't know if I would ever get that opportunity again. So there we go. No, there's no signed the Sassy. No signed the Sassy. No, I won't. No, I won't. This idea that people think if we start winning games that suddenly, oh, we don't care about the ownership anymore is mental. It is mental. I really don't get it, chat. I really don't understand that at all. Really don't get it. No, I was too young for Harlington. I know Harlington was poor. I know Harlington was obviously not a good training ground. They shared it with like a local hockey club or whatever. Kind of mad. Kind of a mad one. Yeah, they shared it with a local hockey club or something like that. I don't remember, but I didn't want to draw at Fulham. I wanted the points. No. I'm not that guy. I'm not a flexing guy. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't know. We don't know because no questions were asked about the fucking team. No questions were asked about the team. So we actually don't know what the team news. We don't know what the team news situation is, chat. We don't know. Yes, big up to you, brother. But yeah, look, obviously, look, win, lose or draw, it's always Blueco and ownership out. So yeah, and look, a few wins, by the way. Look, and the fan base are very united in their thoughts against the ownership. You saw it at Craven Cottage with the away support. It'll be the same at the Valley tomorrow. It'll be the same at Arsenal on Tuesday, and I think it will be the same pretty much every game. Pretty much the same for every game. This is not just going to stop if Rosenior wins a couple of games. It's not stopping if he wins a couple of games. No, they absolutely won't be doing that. Yeah, oh yeah, obviously Correa is suspended. We know that. Yeah, we'll be at the Valley tomorrow. We'll be there at the Valley tomorrow. Should be a good game. It is going to be a difficult game, and that's why I don't think we should be making wholesale changes to the side. I don't think we should be making wholesale changes to the side. We shouldn't be making wholesale changes. I think he's got to go with a pretty strong team. Mate, there's a protest next weekend. And this not going to games thing, if I don't go, if someone else doesn't go, that's not changing anything. Because other people will go. This is not a sense of, oh, if we stop going, then someone else, then they're not going to go. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Cucurella is just a one-match ban. Cucurella is a one-match ban. Let's do a lineup now. I mean, we don't know the exact team use, but let's do a lineup now. Let's do a lineup builder now, chat. Okay, so I think we can go Jorgensen in goal. Left back's obvious. It'll be Hato because Cucurella is suspended. Even if Cucurella was available, he's definitely on the bench for this game. Right back. Would I play Reece James right back or midfield? Because James didn't start the last game, so I would be starting James in this game. Yeah, I'm going to start James at right back for me. I'm then going to play Chalobah and Action Pong at the back. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go for Fofana. This needs to be a game for Fofana. I'm going to play Fofana and Action Pong. As centre-backs. Chat, let me know your thoughts. Anyone... No, so basically, because I thought it was going to be 3 games. I thought it was 3 games, but 3-game ban is only if it's violent conduct or if it's upgraded retrospectively. So 3-game ban is for violent conduct, like last man foul or whatever, serious foul play, or whatever you want to refer to it as, is a 1-match ban. So that's why it's a 1-match ban, because it wasn't violent conduct. In midfield, we're going to go with Andre Santos, because he got hooked early on in that game. And I'd go Caicedo again, because Caicedo's banned for Arsenal, so we don't need to save him for anything. So I'd go Santos and Caicedo. I'm going to go Garnacho on the left. I'm going to go Esteval on the right. I'm going to go Joao Pedro in the 10. I'm going to continue with Liam Delap leading the line. That's what I'd go with. I would bench Cole Palmer for this game. I would bench Cole Palmer for this game. Derry and look, Jesse Derry may well be in the squad. There may well be some youngsters in the squad, but I'm not sure if Jesse Derry won't start. I don't think we're at that level of rotation, personally speaking. But look, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. I don't think we're personally at that level of rotation, but let's see. No, I won't be a back 3, no. Look, in possession it might be. The fullback inverting in it might go to a back 3. But it'll be a back 4 out of possession. Yeah, look, Gittins, Guiu, Esteval. Look, Guiu could easily start this game. But I think Delap played well. I think you've got to give him another opportunity from the start. I think you've got to give him another opportunity from the start. That's the team that I'm going with. Look, Cole Palmer, you could say use him in this game, and that's kind of like an opportunity, a good opportunity for him to get back to some decent form. I hear that. I hear that. But maybe others don't. Maybe others don't. Maybe others don't. But he's not even at Chelsea yet, so it'd be strange if you saw him in the squad. He's not at Chelsea yet. But look, there's a mixture. I mean, that's still a very strong team. But Garnacho's not played for a couple of games. Esteval has not played much recently. Delap, when you're in form, you've got to continue playing your players that are in form. Bring Fofana back in for a game. Give Action-Pong a go. I'd be surprised if the team was very different to that. Look, I think Guiu could well start, but I would be surprised if the team was majorly different to that one. I don't think it will be. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it will be different. Do you what do I rate this? The Chelsea squad or our strongest starting 11? The Chelsea squad is probably a 5 or 6 out of 10. The overall squad, it's not good enough. It lacks quality and depth. Our strongest 11 with everyone fit and available, that's probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. Sterling is not featuring at all. No, bro, I think the squad's a 5 or a 6 max. The squad. No, I don't think so. I think Fofana could play those games. He hasn't played for a little bit, but I think Fofana could manage those games. I think he could. Chat, we're 35 likes away from 200 likes. Smash the like button. Let's keep it stepping, people, and keep subscribing if you are new round here as well. We're racing towards 20k. We're not a million miles away now. We're 30 subscribers away from 19.7. So smash the like button and keep smashing that subscribe button as well if you are new round here. But let's get these likes up, chat. Let's get them up. We're on 166. Come on, people. Get this up to 200. It's free. It takes seconds. And it massively, massively helps me out. So please do that. He could well do. He could well do. But again, when it's coming to centre-back pairings, you've got to pick a pairing and you've got to kind of stick with it. You know, the last thing you want to be doing is chopping and changing between your centre-back pairing. You don't want to do that. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that, chat. No, big up to you, Eddie. Yeah, bro, those were the OG days. Those were the days where there was no setup, there was no nothing. Yeah, that was kind of mad. That feels like a long time ago now. Feels like we've come a long way. Yeah, feels like we've come a long way since then. Feels like we've come a long way since then. Yeah, we have to beat Charlton. We have to beat Charlton. What have I flip-flopped on? I've always said that I want the manager I've always said I want the manager to do well. I don't believe he's the right guy, and I don't believe in this appointment, but I'll support him and I want him to do well. What's flip-flop? What have I flip-flopped on? Mate, 100% it is. It's criminal that the squad is a 5 or 6 out of 10 at best, given the money spent. Yeah, yeah, it is. Look, we can't afford to even think of that outcome. We can't afford to even think of that outcome. That's just not possible. Bro, Neto's not a left wing back. Yeah, we do need better sporting directors. We need better people to lead this project, but obviously we're not going to get that, and we haven't got that. So, as I said, there's not an awful lot that we can. There's not an awful lot we can do about this, chat. No, I don't think we'll lose to Charlton. I mean, I hope we don't lose to Charlton. I don't think we will. I don't think we will. But that's the team that I would go with. By the way, remember, chat, there's no replays anymore. There's no replays in the FA Cup anymore. Is there third round? Is there extra time? Is there extra time in the FA Cup third round, or does it go straight to penalties? Let's have a look. Let me just Google that, because I know they got rid of replays. Is there extra time in FA Cup third round? Yeah, no, there is. There is. There's no replays, but there's extra time. So there could be extra time. It could be extra time and penalties tomorrow, potentially. I hope it's just over in the 90 minutes. Yeah, extra time and penalties. I mean, I would be surprised. I know we're playing poorly right now, chat, but I would be surprised if this game went to extra time. I mean, surely not. Surely we're not going to go to extra time. I think it'll be close, maybe a 2-1 or something like that, or a 1-0 to us. But yeah, I can't see it being extra. Surely we're not going to go to extra time. It's going to be interesting, this. It's hard to have confidence, you know, going into any game. But yeah, we have to get it done in 90. Because there's too many games. Too many games. Could is totally different to would. And I never once said we're in a title race. Going 4-0. I mean, if we win 4-0, fair play. I'll be very impressed with that if we get a 4-0 win. I'll be very, very impressed. Be very, very impressed with that if we do. I'll be very impressed, chat. Yeah, replays are better for the smaller clubs and a proper pain in the arse for the big ones. That's essentially what all this was. That's essentially what it all was. Chat, less than 30 away from 200 likes now. Let's really make a big push for the 200 likes. There's still 180 in the building. Smash that like button. Get this to 200, guys. Get this to 200. But yeah, it's weird to feel a bit concerned. It's weird feeling a bit concerned about the game. It is a strange one. Bro, yeah, please do. No, it's not my full-time job. Hopefully one day. It's not my full-time job. I do write about Chelsea as a job. But no, YouTube is not the full-time job. Hopefully soon. Hopefully one day. Yeah, no, it will be. It will be. And there's kind of an excitement in terms of, right, we're fine. Let's hope we can get the season back on track. It feels like the season's been very much derailed. And look, we have to hope that in some way or another we can get the season back on track. I don't think it'll be much difference. I don't think there'll be much difference. So yeah, there we are. Right, that's the team that I'm going with. Well, yeah, he has used a 3-4-2-1, but again, you know, that can sort of change. That can go into a back three if a fullback inverts into the midfield. I don't think we've got the personnel to play that, and I wouldn't want to see a 3-4-2-1 at Chelsea. You know, he said it himself. His football is not that different to Maresca. You know, he said it himself in the press conference. So, look, I expect him to stick with the 4-2-3-1/4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. But it'll be interesting. You know, we could see we could see a couple of tactical tweaks here and there. But I don't think in your first game after 2 training sessions you're going to come in and make some bold tactical changes for a really important game. I just don't think you're going to do that. But yeah, that's that, chat. That is that. Right, let's have a look what else is going on then, guys. Let's have a look what else is going on. Chat, get your score predictions in. Potentially at some point, yeah. Yeah, he played mainly 3-4-1-2. Mainly 3-4-1-2. Look, we might see Reece inverting. I mean, I don't know exactly what we're going to see, but we're not going to see a vast tactical overhaul, guys. We're not going to see a vast tactical overhaul. That much is absolutely clear. There'll be no vast tactical overhaul. It will be fairly similar. There might be a few slight tweaks here and there. But guys, get your score predictions in. I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. But yeah, get your score predictions in, people. What are you lot saying? Score predictions in the chat now, guys. 10-9 penalties. Fair. I mean, that would be mental. 1-0 Charlton. Fair. 3-1 win. Guys, keep your score predictions coming in. 2-2. Well, there needs to be a result after that. Are we winning on penalties or what? 4-0 Chelsea, 2-1 Charlton, 4-2 Chelsea. As long as we win, that's all I care about. That is all I care about right now. Let's just string some wins together. Let's get some wins on the board. Let's get some wins on the board. So yeah, there we go. Right. Chat, I'm going to round this one out. Big up to everyone that has tuned in this afternoon. It is greatly appreciated. It's greatly appreciated. Love for all the support as always. Big yourselves up, people. Let's see. Is anyone else live? Let's have a look if there's anyone live right now that we can redirect to. Anyone worthy? Who have we got? We're probably not going to redirect to the Big Six. They don't need that. No, there's no one else live. No one else live. Other than the Big Six. Fair. Yeah, well, we're not going to redirect at all then. Right, guys, big love. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you for the support on today's show. Great show as always. Good numbers, chat. Good numbers. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your... I already said that. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Chat, if there's enough news, you might go live again tomorrow before the game. We'll wait and see. But yeah, guys, smash the like, subscribe if you're new. Run this up to 200 likes on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. And I'll catch you lot again tomorrow. Up the Chelsea. And we are out. Blue Co out. Love.